Welcome to the decreasingly popular Go Racing Weekly Video Report. We're taken to a new location and we actually have a special guest. We have had a request for Robbie Hannam. We couldn't get him this week. So this week we've got one of the North's leading trainers, Mr. Stephen Marsh.
Jeez, what an honour this is, Albert, to be on this very famous show. Yeah, thanks very much for having me.
Well, you're the first one sort of outside of the family. We've had Melissa, Sophie, we had Matt. Well, he's not family, he's in trouble all the time.
I thought I was part of the family.
Well, you are now.
Oh,
once
good.
you get on here, you're part of the family.
Oh, good.
And you had a couple of guests earlier in the week come and stay at your house.
Yeah, that was interesting. Had two guests. Matt, he finally, I've heard every week he's never around, he's always on holiday, and it was nice to see him actually return and earn his keep. But yeah, you and Matt came for the night.
Who was the tidier guest? Who was the...
Matt, definitely Matt. Yeah, no, he was a pleasure to have. He even left me some white bait. It was more than what you left me, but...
Matt left Stephen a packet of white bait for him, one for me.
And I took them both.
Yeah.
I've decided that you know, it didn't really need it. He wants to trim up for the spring and summer racing, so I thought I'd take it off him. So I've been enjoying that ever since.
I think we should move on. I'm not enjoying it. Hey, I came down to the trials day. We had two trialists.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yep, she tried up super. It was great to see her back. Just jumped good, travelled great. And she won her heat nicely, so she'll hit the Melbourne Cup Day, which will be really exciting to have her back. I've given up a trip to the Melbourne Cup to see her return, which certainly doesn't worry me. I'm more than happy to do that.
Worthwhile to give it up.
Very much so. Even an all expenses paid trip to the Melbourne Cup, you know, but...
Well, you had one last year.
I'm sure you'll take me out for dinner that night to compensate, no doubt.
As long as we won.
Oh.
I'll tell you what though, seriously, that heat today, there were two golden slipper runners in that heat. There was Mosse. That would have been the strongest heat I think I've seen in years in New Zealand.
Yeah, look, it was a really good heat. And, you know, I'm happy with that because, you know, you don't get any false hope for beating a bunch of average horses. You know, it was a really good trial. Shelford ran second.
He ran fourth in the golden slipper?
Yep, fourth or fifth in the slipper. He's had one trial already this time into fitting him. So, you know, we've been a long time off the scene. So we're going to take a lot of improvement, and we're actually, funny enough, we're going to meet Shelford at Ellerslie that same day. So it's going to be it'll be a really good race there.
Yeah, it'll be super. I might even tune up to the races for it.
I wouldn't overdo it, but you haven't noticed you had too many meetings or anything lately?
Well, I was here today.
Must have known something was up, eh?
Well, we had a couple of winners today, didn't we?
Yeah, impressive 2-year-old Billy Mojo. Lovely named. He was good. He was having a second trial on a better track today.
Yeah.
He won really well. Still had a lot to learn, but jumped out of the gates good. Was a little bit wayward in the straight, just having a look around, but I think he's a horse with a big future, and he'll kick off at Te Rapa on the 8th.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Just need a rider for him.
Yeah, everyone will be down at
2,000 guineas.
Yeah.
Will you be available?
No, I am wasting, but I will be at Riccarton that day.
Maybe Matt.
Yep, Matt could come up. You have to shave his head though, lose a few kilos.
It's got an interesting head.
It's gone crazy. It's almost like he's got a mullet starting to come down.
Oh, the afro, I don't know what's got into him. Too much holidaying.
My biggest concern with Billy Mojo is there's a couple of guys, it's their first horse, and if one of them's already said if he makes the Cracken William Field and he wins it, he said he'll get nude in the bird cage, he'll be that excited.
I've heard of this bloke. From Wellington, is he?
Yes.
What's his name?
Mark Charlton.
I have heard that he would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anyway, we should talk more horses.
Right.
Now last week, I got abused last week. People have emailed in and have said that my tipping is shocking. But I said one of the Japanese horses win the Caulfield Cup, didn't I?
You might have briefly mentioned it, but...
I said the Bold Run would win and Miss Lightning run a place.
Bold Run paid about $1.30. That was good tipping. Game tipping, yeah.
Yeah, not known for my boldness, but well, just unfairly abused. But Miss Lightning ran well. She's come back. She's better than she was last season. I think almost ignore her first 15 starts as a maiden. She's a better horse.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I thought it was a good effort to run. You know, the Bold Run. He's got some big races lined up for him, and you know,
Telegraph.
The Telegraph, so you've only been beaten 1 length and a half from it. So yeah, I'd say it's definitely a horse that's gone ahead and improved a lot.
Adavari ran 6, was a much better run, and if you hadn't taken your horse down for the race, we would have run 5th and weighed in. But your horse Cursive.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But she's looking for 2,000, and it was a bigger improvement in her first ever run. Happy with her. And then we had our other horse for the day, Mahia.
Yeah, well, we probably don't need to talk too much about that, but look, I decided to keep him in. The track was firm.
Yeah.
The rain was coming.
Yeah.
And we're in later in the day. That didn't come until half an hour after his race, and they ran 1.9 for the 1200. So it was just a non-event. Used it basically as a trial in the end.
Yeah.
You know, if he was an hour later, he would have been on a slow track.
You did ring me the morning and say.
So it was your fault.
Yeah.
I actually did give you the option. So
jeez, give him more abuse this week.
I said keep him to Auckland.
Yeah.
This Saturday, where it looks like it's going to be rain affected. But anyway, we won't get into that. You and I own a part of that horse each, so we won't complain too much about it.
Yeah, that's true. So let's quickly look forward to this week. Big weekend of racing coming up. Got a lot of starters. We've got Mia's Choice on Friday at Waipa. Talented filly, but bad draw. Yeah,
filly with a lot of ability. Looked a perfect race for her. She trialled up really good the other day. Drawn the car park over 11.50 around Waipa is just not ideal at all. So we'll probably just sit on her till next Wednesday at Counties.
Yep.
So yeah, shame, because it would have been good to kick her off there. But look, it's not a major, and you know, we're looking at black type races later in the season.
Yeah. She's talented, isn't she?
She is. Yeah.
Trialled up good.
Yeah, and I thought with a draw she'd be very hard to beat, and
yeah,
she could go through the grades.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think we'll probably wait there. Why don't you? Now, I think that's the only run we've got. Why don't you ask me about these other ones, and I can say something.
If I can read your writing, but passing shot.
Passing shot at Waipa. He's
looks like a good thing there. I would have thought.
Yeah, I think so. 75 1400. We were going to take him to Trentham, but trip away too much for the 2,000 guineas. Only concern is, you know how hard this 3-year-olds against the older horses this time of year. That he's only got 55 kilos to carry. The horse I'm worried about is Murray Saki Soldier. Murray Baker's horse. It's pretty talented and it's older. That's the one to be worried about. But
it is hard, very hard for a 3-year-old to win this time of year and against the older horses. But I thought it was a good move not going down to Wellington. It is too much on them.
Yeah.
So whatever he does, it'll be a good pipe opener for him anyway for South.
He should run the first 3.
Yep. You'd certainly think so.
Yeah. And then Saturday,
Mighty Solomon, one of my favourites. I think he's a very good horse. Drawn out of it though, isn't
he? 13, and he's dropping back to 1200. We're getting ready for the Thornton Mile, but it's so far away, we thought we'd go back to 1200 rather than go up, step up. And he's got to take on Kawi, who's got a better draw and less weight.
Yep.
And Kawi's a very good horse.
Yep. So is this horse. I think he's one of your better horses, but
I think he can win.
Yep.
He can definitely win because he's such a good horse, good turn of foot. But I think he's more vulnerable over 1200 on Saturday than he was last start.
Yep.
But I certainly would expect him to run in the first 3.
Sadler's Rock, the old boy.
Yeah, he's 6. Getting ready for the New Zealand Cup. Ran 5th last start in a race he was favourite in, but it was a heavy team track. The only reason we started him was because we had to get the fitness into him for the New Zealand Cup. So he ran Trentham, 1.5 miles, good draw. Jonathan Riddell almost won on him, and a good track is the key. Bit of a big day for him Saturday. If we want to go forward New Zealand Cup, he's got to run well, but I think he can. I think 1.5 miles on a hard track, I think you'll see him improve.
Yep, for sure. Mount difficulty, yes, but the same boat, he ran on a heavy track too last start, didn't he?
No, he was on a good track, but he got too far back.
Oh, too far back.
Remember last year there was a day, Mount difficulty.
Down south, and we're all down there.
He had no form.
Yeah.
And he was training well, and we decided to have a place bet on him. He was paying about $8 a place. And me, you, and Troy Harris.
Yeah.
We were screaming at the TV, and Sir Patrick Hogan, Peter Walker told us to be quiet.
Yeah.
He ran second.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. We were at Te Rapa that day.
We were. Yeah. He drops back to rating 65 grade. Chris Johnson sticks with the ship. He got too far back, but ran home really well. I think he's a good chance on Saturday on a firm track. I think he's definite top 3 chance. He's drawn midfield. That won't bother him.
Now that's about where I can't read anymore. What are you trying to write there?
That's What a Star.
What a Star. Never heard of it.
Remember the Captain Rio filly we bought at
Chestnut filly?
Yeah, at Cracker.
Yep.
That's her. Our very first 2-year-old that we bought. Very first 2-year-old race of the yearlings we bought early in the year. Captain Rio filly out of Marlander Star.
Yep.
She's in the 2-year-old race, over 800. And of course, our luck, the last 2 2-year-old races down south have had 3 and 4 runners. And this one's got 10. And there's horses coming from up north. But she's drawn the bullet, drawn barrier 1. She's won a jump out. So she's professional, but it's an open 2-year-old, so she's up against 2 winners and about 5 horses that have raced before and have form. So I actually think it's quite a tough start for her. If she can run the first 4, we'll be very happy, but against horses with more experience than one, it'll be a bit tough. But she's a nice horse.
Graham Rogerson, they've got one in the whatever beats that wins, I think.
Outlaw Kate? No, that's...
One Rory Hutchins on it. Can't remember the name, but anyway.
Start the rain, have to talk up.
Yeah, it is too. Got 2 more trialers to go, they won't like that. Lucky we're perched up here. Now I think this one's for me, the most exciting run of yours for the week. Prince Manlo on Monday.
Yes.
It's a very good draw.
Yep.
Bullet, barrier 1, against a great field, but the hardest ones to beat have drawn the outside barriers. So this could be, you wouldn't expect he has to beat them at the 1400, but I think he'll be in a good shape.
I think it's spot on. I'd say over 1400 against O'Marilyn, Vinnie Eagle, Murray's horse, Turn Me Loose.
Yeah, drawn out wide. O'Marilyn and Turn Me Loose are drawn out wide, so.
Yeah. Very hard to beat them over 1400, but from one he should get the drop on them, and he'll give them a shake. He's ready for a mile now, and I think looking at the 2000 guineas, he's a super chance. But you know, if he beats them on Monday, I would say he'll go.
Couldn't beat them over a mile then.
No.
If he can beat them,
He'll go in the 2000 guineas as favourite if he can beat them on Monday. Yep. And he's well, and he will run well. It just depends on how far off he gets, but he'll run well,
without doubt. Right, well that's the runners. What about the Cox Plate? Exciting race for the weekend?
Yeah, and we haven't got a runner again this year?
No, unfortunately not. Next year?
Next year, yeah.
Definitely.
What do you like?
Well, I loved the run of Sacred Falls last start. Drew wide, they just let him find his feet. Drawn wide again, I would have rather seen him drawn a good barrier. I think Criterion can near win at very good odds. I think he's about 9 to 1.
Yeah.
I think he'll take a lot of beating. I've only got him over the top of Sacred Falls because of the draw.
Is McDonald on or was Bowman who was waiting?
No, McDonald's on.
McDonald's on.
Who's riding super. You know, it's riding of late has been brilliant.
So I saw Roy on Wednesday. He had no chance.
Yeah.
And he was so patient and got up on the rail. Yeah.
No, he's riding right at the top of his game. And so
I'll go for Sacred Falls.
Yeah.
We'll have a chocolate fish on it.
Chocolate fish, right.
And we'll leave today with a Stephen Marsh special. Have you got a tip for us for the weekend?
Yeah, well I don't like the way this rain's coming, but tomorrow, if this film goes out in time, I've got a first starter in by the name of Tinder. First starter, drawn a good barrier over 1150 around Waipa.
Tinder's an interesting name.
Yeah, well, Mark and Ron Chitty actually named it, so I believe it's an application you've got on your phone, so maybe they're both on it, I'm not sure, but you have to ask them.
Oh, overall.
Yeah, but that's, he'll be very hard to beat. I think he's a smart horse, and looking to, but I've got a nice team in all round, and Saturday I've got 2 runners, and I think I've got well with 5.
Cesar was a good one last day.
Very good runner. She's in race 10, drawn barrier 1, so if this rain keeps up, it won't be ideal, but she's very smart.
Right. Oh.
What's your best for the?
My best for the weekend? Look, I think we've got a number of runners that can run the first, that can run the first or can win.
You have to say Prince Mambo or Passing Shot.
Passing Shot tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
what about the rain?
Very. You wouldn't want too much rain. If it rains, that'll put them out of it. Otherwise, it'd be Mighty Solomon or Mighty Solomon. If it rains, Mighty Solomon. Otherwise, I'll say Passing Shot.
One last thing back to Matt.
Yeah.
I hear he's going in for a haircut, so he's He's trying to time his run so he looks perfect for Cup Week.
Well, he's growing. He's grown his the hair to Cup Week. He's not cut. He's going to be like Solomon. He's not going to. Is it Solomon? He's not going to cut his hair till then.
Oh.
Yeah, and he wants us to do November, so he's going to start growing hair and cut it there.
If I start now, it'll probably be good for next year.
Yeah. And the final thing I was going to say is we had an announcement to make about the Melbourne Cup, but we've gone on too long, so we'll make that next week. You know what it is, very special, exciting announcement about the Melbourne Cup.
Yes,
we'll
I do. That's
make,
right.
Yeah, we'll make it next
I
week.
won't be on the show next week, but
Well, you know, might be.
well,
We'll try and get. We'll let Matt come back.
We might get no viewers.
True.
Me on it.
Right, well, I'll leave by. I'll go and turn off the camera, and you can look at Stephen's pretty face instead of mine for the last few seconds.
Geez, aren't they lucky?